your growth, your growth is not linear. And so when I say this, what exactly do I mean? And say your growth is not linear. And this principle applies to your financial growth, but also your own personal growth too, who you become in life. And most of us assume that when we grow, we're going to grow in a straight line. Like it's going to go, like as time goes on, we're going to just kind of gradually go up like this, right? Like a little line graph that's just diagonal and straight. And it doesn't actually work like this. Our growth actually goes on a curve, right? And so, why is this important to know? Uh, and I didn't really understand this. I've heard people say this, but I didn't understand it. And this is why I was never successful with saving, with investing, with increasing my net worth, little by little. And it's because I would want to grow faster than what I thought I was growing at. And so here's what I mean. And maybe you've experienced this too. I would put, let's say, well, actually, what did I actually do? Okay, so I would take my disposable income, the income that was left after I paid all my bills, and I knew that I was okay to live, and I would put like $100 into like Amazon stock. This was like in 2018 or something like that, and uh, and I would take all my money and I would put it in the Amazon stock, and I would be broke after that. I would take all the money that I had left and I'd put it in Amazon stock, and then I'm like waiting for my next paycheck to be able to have some money. And I would do this because I thought, well, the more that I can put in now, like I'm gonna save. The stock is gonna grow, and I didn't understand that this concept of growth not being linear. I thought that I needed to put as much in here that I possibly can right now, and because of that, I wouldn't be consistent. I wouldn't keep doing that every 2 weeks. I would get my next paycheck, and I'd be like, "Well, you put $100 in there, and like I want to have some money to spend on some things," and so then I wouldn't do it the next paycheck, and then after that, I would see the stock drop because the stock market goes up and it goes down, right? And I would be like, "Holy crap! My money that I just put in here just went down by 10%." Then I get scared and I'd pull it out, and so I would have a loss. It's like you put $100 in, you got $90 out. That's a loss. And then I'd wait a couple months before I'd try it again. And then I'd do that same thing over and over again. And it's because I didn't understand that growth isn't linear. And so here's a good example of linear growth. I'm going to put a graph up on top of the screen so that you can check this out. But our linear growth, usually if you're investing in something for over like 30 years and you're putting just the same amount in there for 30 years, at the 15-year mark, whatever you have is usually going to like triple or quadruple by the time 30 years is over. So like 15 years, that's half of 30, right? If growth was linear, then the amount that you would have in your account that you're gaining interest on would be half of what you would have at 30 years. But that's not how it works because of compounding interest. And so what's more important is to figure out a way to consistently contribute into something that is growing over time. It's not just growing because you're contributing, but it's growing because you're getting dividends or you're getting returns on that money. Um, I think that, and this is what I did to really get started with this. Instead of putting it into stock, to help me understand this concept, I started putting it into a high yield savings account because the high yield savings account never goes down. So I never have to worry about what I have in there going down and then feeling like I need to sell it. It only goes up. And so if you're just getting started with this and you're trying to really understand this concept, just start contributing whatever you can. Make it a set number, so it's the same number every paycheck that you get. Um, Start contributing that to a high yield savings account, and you'll be delighted at the end of the month when you get your dividend deposit. It's not technically called dividends, but when your money makes you some money and you see that deposited in there as well. And you'll start to understand this concept, and just play around with like a high yield savings account calculator. Make the percentage something reasonable where it's like 5% on the calculator, and say, okay, if I contribute this much money every 2 weeks for 5 years, what would it end up being? And then look at the outcome, and then change that amount of time. Only change the time to 10 years, double it, and you'll see the amount of money that you actually save more than double every time. And this is because of compounding interest. So growth is not linear. And one of the things that I wish I could tell myself. I'm like sweating in here. It's hot in the car right now. I have the car off so that my phone doesn't connect to the radio. If you're like, why is this dude so shiny? It's hot in here. So this is gonna be a quick video. But one of the things that I wish that I knew is that when we're starting out on this investing journey, the beginning always feels the hardest because the compounding effect, we can't really feel the compounding effect working yet. And like we may see it, we're like, okay, cool, I put $200 in my high yield savings account, and at the end of the month I got a whopping like 25 cents, or I got it would be, yeah, something like that, 25, 30 cents, 40 cents added to my account. It's like that doesn't make a difference at all in my life. But if you have 200,000 in your high yield savings account, well, let's see, if you put 200 in and it's 40 cents, then it would end up being $40, every month added. And that still doesn't seem like much, right? And these numbers are way off. I have about, let me tell you exactly just what I have in there. So I have about 16,500 in my high yield savings account right now. And every month I get between 58 and $60 deposited into my high yield savings account in interest because of the interest. So it's like I'm making $2 a day every day just because I have that money in there. And I keep contributing every month. So the amount that I'm making every day is actually from having my money parked there is going up. And it's going to continue to go up at a faster rate over time as long as I keep contributing the same amount. And so in the beginning, it feels tough because we don't see the results. It actually feels like we're taking a hit because this money that we would usually be spending on things, it's just disappearing into this black hole. And we're like, so it feels hard. But once you get to the point, like for me now, where I see that, like, wow, I'm actually making the same amount of like a really nice steak dinner every month just because my money's parked there. And I don't go spend that money on a steak dinner. I don't take it out because I want that to add to the amount that's in the high yield savings account so that it continues to happen. And so what I'm saying is you will get to a point eventually where that will happen for you, where you'll see the amount that's getting added because of your investments, and you'll be stoked on that, and then you'll just want to continue to do it. But getting to that point is the hardest part. Getting to that point is the hardest part because all it requires discipline. It requires changing behavior and changing habits. And I've got some other content on the channel to help with changing behavior and changing habits. I'll actually link that up in one of the corners up here so you can check that out. But that's all it requires: consistency and discipline. And this car is like a sauna, so I'm going to get out of here. I'm actually at the beach right now. You can't really see it, but there's just a ton of waves, like some 10-foot waves. So I'm about to get my board out of the trunk, get out there, and go get my ass kicked by the ocean. Hope you guys are having a good day. See ya.